much new 52 on.
Yeah,
I haven't.
the whole New 52 thing was weird because they rebooted everything, had these New 52 universes, but that lasted for like 18 months. Then they rebooted it again with Rebirth.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, I'm completely not up to date with the current.
All right, well, guys,
Except
we
that
are.
Green Lantern never actually rebooted. Oh, we're live, are we?
Wait a minute.
Yes, you know how we
Hey,
do it. We go live. We just go live at random times. I'm sorry, I would have warned you, Jerry, but that would have taken all the fun out of just going live in the middle of conversation, which is what they're here to hear anyway. They're here to listen to us have our conversations about whatever nonsense topics we want, because this is Science or Satire, episode 006. And today's featured guest is one of the most beloved people in our community. Somebody who I wasn't originally exposed to when I first got into this, to the whole flat Earth, looking at videos on YouTube. It actually took me a while to get through the Reds Rhetorics and the Cool Hard Logics and all these other videos, and then I started getting recommended your videos as well. And I was like, wow, okay, so this guy knows what he's talking about too. So, Greater Sapien, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, everybody can hear me all right?
Yes,
You got
sir.
Yes,
Excellent. I'm not sure what the delay is. I know there's a little bit of delay between me and everybody else here, but
No,
no, I'm
developers, they have
doing
delays,
well.
it's usually just me with a delay.
I'm enjoying life, trying to keep my feet firmly in reality as much as possible, and just dipping my toes back into the internet world when I feel like it, as opposed to being, feeling obligated to produce for folks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can understand that feeling. It's hard to constantly pump out the content, and it's easy to get burnt out on it. But every time one of your videos pop up, it's like, oh, that's just made my day. Unlike
Thank
Team
you.
Skeptic, you were one of the first people that that I came across. I think it was you, Simon, Dan, Conspiracy Cats. They were kind of the three that I first started looking at, and then obviously Reds for the debates. But your intro is just one of my favorite things in the world.
Oh yeah, now, I haven't done a video with that intro in a while, but I have one coming out next week. That'll be back to kind of classic Greater Sapien. The latest one is a new series that I'm doing that's more for like the younger audiences and general populace, and not so much of the swagger going on.
Yeah.
But I'll get back to the other ones.
Well, why don't you talk briefly about your video you just released, because you just released a video, was it yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. Yeah, yesterday. So talk a little bit about it.
It's a little something I've been kind of percolating on for a while. I got a number of scripts in the can. It's something I call comment thread science, which is it's my response to having to answer the same questions over and over and over again. And so instead of answering them in the comment threads, instead of making a more of a combative video about it, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to make a kind of a dumbed down, lowest common denominator. Let's not call it dumbed down. Let's call it kind of lowest common denominator, middle school or even earlier level video series that's just directed at just talking talking the fact, talking the science in language and say analogy that people can understand, and just kind of cut through the fluff part of it and just get just straight to the subject. And
So you
one
said
thing I
middle school and below. That
pretty
might be an
much,
issue
yeah.
even for flat earthers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but,
agree with you. I agree with you on the educational aspect of moving forward. One of the things in my videos, and I see it a lot in yours, it's real easy to call them idiots, right? Because, I mean, really, to be honest, do we really need to provide any evidence as to why they're idiots? I mean, I could just simply say you're an idiot because of what you just said and how stupid it really is. But I like to kind of give an explanation as to why I'm calling them an idiot every time. And you do the same thing. I mean, you're not calling them idiots, obviously, but you're not also just saying, nope, you're wrong. You're saying you're wrong and this is why. And
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, and also I'm trying to, even though tangentially they're a target, I'm really trying to not look at them as the target, look at the people who are going online looking for information. Because like I have a 14-year-old, and he pretty much gets all his information online. That's where he goes. We used to go to the library, used to go to the little tickler, little files, and go through there and try to find things. But now you just go online, and they go online with honest questions. They're just ignorant of certain things because they literally, in the proper way of saying ignorant. And bad information is just as easy to get as good information. And so the flat Earth people, the globe deniers, they're lost to us. They're for the most part, they're lost to us. But they can be a springboard to a conversation for people who are actually looking for the proper information, and who aren't necessarily sophisticated enough in their education to get like the equations. It's easier to give them like practical demonstrations and easy analogies. And so I'm going for that next generation of people who are looking for things, and it just writing off some of these other ones. At least in this series, it's not directed toward them. It's directed for people who are honestly looking for information, and it needs to be put in a healthy bite that they can digest.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I enjoy about doing this is that, obviously I enjoy making fun of the flat earthers and the science deniers in general, but I really, really enjoy it when someone comments on my video saying that they've learned some science. I enjoy that more than actually, doing the whole insulting the flat earthers thing. The fact that people watch our videos and they can actually get some decent information and learn some basic science just from watching us. I enjoy that aspect of it a lot. And, knowing that people are watching our stuff and actually learning makes me feel pretty good.
Yeah, it really does. And there's also a certain amount of testing my own knowledge. It's like for example, I use my son as an example a lot, is he's really good at math, and so he's taking higher courses in math, and so he wants to tutor some of the ninth graders. Even though he's in the ninth grade, he wants to tutor some of the ninth graders in math since he's taking higher math. And I really suggest he do it because if he can explain it to someone else, it forces him to have a deeper understanding of the topic himself. And so when I'm forced to try to figure out a way of explaining this to people in simple terms, I have to make sure I'm grounded in the topic myself. And so it's kind of strengthening my own knowledge at the same time. It's as an intellectual exercise to explain it to someone else. And I really enjoyed the growth that I have. And it's like it's flexing a different muscle. It's just like a different type of exercise.
And
well, my take on it.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah, my take on it for dealing with flat earthers is they people get the bad information from them. They base all of their hypothesis on bad premises right out of the gate. So what I do is I actually demonstrate why their premise is incorrect. And I'll do this through actual testing of their claim. So I don't go into the ifs, ands, or what's, by, and hows of everything. I just explain why their premise is wrong. So I go half the step. People can take that farther and, springboard off of me and find out the exact reason why they're wrong. I just demonstrate that their premise is wrong.
Right, and I think all those kind of angles of attack are helpful, because we don't know who's out there absorbing this information. Some people, they need to cut through the drama, and they just want to know what the true fact is. What is it? Can you please explain to me how gravity works? Can you explain it to me? I don't understand. But there's other people who go, well, I kind of had that idea. Why is that idea wrong? Because they just naturally had that idea. And so they need to be approached that way. So, my way of approaching it right now isn't the way for everybody. Craig's way isn't going to be the way for everybody. Sean's like, it's just, but, we spread that out there and people will gravitate and share the information of what works for them. Someone might say, it's like, well, I would talk to this guy and he just wasn't getting it. But you know what? I think I'll give him a link to Craig's video, and I think he's going to have an approach to it that will get to this guy.
Yeah.
Or someone will say, hey, here, look at, I know the way you think. Here, you'll like Greater Sapien. Here, listen to him. He'll help you out. And having it all there is great. There's no one way of doing it.
Well, that is the way I'm moving my channel too. I'll always continue to do flat Earth stuff because there's plenty of stupid to laugh at. It's really simple stupid to debunk. I guess the hardest part about debunking the flat Earth or doing a good debunk of a flat Earth video is writing jokes that are that are funny, that are that entertain the audience, that keep them engaged with the video and make them want to watch and listen for the next joke. You don't want it to start being repetitive, but then again, you look back at the science and, it's like, God, I've said this 50 times already in the last 65 videos. So one thing that we had, a guest that we recently had on was Martimer81. Are you familiar with his work?
Yeah, I didn't see it was just Friday, right?
Yeah, this Friday.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to see that one. But
well, one thing that I said to him that he had said in one of his videos that really stuck with me is that the audience is here to watch the reaction. They want to see us react to the stupid. They want to see what we say, because the truth of the matter is 90% of the people out there know the information that we say. I mean, there's some people that learn some things. I guess that. The way I try to put it, I want somebody to learn something when watching my video, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if every person out there that watched my video, that hit the like button, already knew all of the information that was inside of the video. And so they're not really there for the information, they're there to watch us react. And I think that as long as people keep putting out mildly entertaining or engaging flat Earth videos, I'll continue to make extremely engaging flat Earth debunk videos just because people like them. It's not my fault they're boring.
You do say so yourself. You extremely.
The problem is trying to keep it interesting, because we are just repeating the same things over and over, because there isn't any science behind flat Earth, and there's only so many times they can say density and buoyancy, and we can try and explain what gravity is before it becomes boring. So the hardest thing about doing this is coming up with ways to keep it entertaining.
And keep yourself entertained. I mean, that's the thing. If you're not entertained doing it, then it's going to completely come across in what you're doing. And so that's what it was for me. I honestly, I was just like, you know what? I'm not feeling this. It's like, yeah, I could talk about that, but I'm not feeling it. So I'm not. So a week will go by and I'm not doing a video. And it's like, oh, that thing came out. I could do something on that, but it would just be another one of those. And do I want to do another one of that one? No, not really. Okay, another week went by, and another week by. And after a while, I was like, you know what? It's kind of nice. Sunshine is good.
Yeah, right.
And so I just told myself,
outside.
I'm just gonna kind of let it go until I feel compelled to do something. Until something grabs me. I'm not gonna do things because hey, someone just said something stupid. I have to. They expect it of me. I have to get out there and do it, because then it's no longer fun for me. So I figured, okay, let me look at a format that allows me to do what I enjoy doing, and honestly, that's like teaching things to people. That's especially kids, and my son. I feel so bad for him. He's going to have so many stories of lectures of his dad just kind of pausing his friends and saying, okay, let me tell you a story. Let me tell you about this.
Yeah,
you see that over there, and just laying it out for him. But I enjoy doing that. So that's why I'm doing this format, just to make sure I stay engaged and do the things I want to do.
Well, that's great.
So you said you got a 14.
Well, let me get through the. We have a couple of super chats that came in. What we're going to do is we'll eventually take a few questions from the audience, but if there are any super chats that come in, we'll also read those out, and if they're questions for you, you can answer them or whatnot. But Andres Elda, I hope I said that right. It's 26. A small contribution for new dingers because I missed him. Yes, we'll get new dingers next week. Rangerman 9404, $6.66. Hail Sagan. Both DC
Hail Sagan.
and
I may need to meet with you.
Yeah, that's my Dark Overlord. Is Carl Sagan. So both DC and Marvel Comics have more scientific content than a Flurf video. And 100%, I agree 100% with that, Ranger Man. And here's the thing is I see a lot of the people out there that say, we don't just come here for the dumpster fires, we come here for the information too. Even if they already know the information, they still like to see that somebody is out there putting it out. So, because not everybody can do what we do. You know, not everybody has the time to start a YouTube channel or even the energy or, I mean, just think of a scientist and what he does. Does he really have time to go and make YouTube videos? You know, probably not. You know, so people like me that are putting it out, the people, they want to see the dumpster fire, but they're glad that somebody's putting it out there correctly. And it is on us. You're right, 100%. It is on us to understand what we talk about. And I'll say that our first guest on Science Or Satire was Professor Dave. I'm sure you're familiar with him, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So Professor Dave was our first guest on here, and he said, and I asked him, him and I were talking about something about like learning and the process of learning after high school, you know, and like adult learning. And it's really something you have to convince yourself to do. Because when you become an adult, you now have nobody looking over you. They're just, you know, telling you do what you do because you're now an adult. And if you don't choose to go and push yourself to learn something new, you just never will. You know, but you can easily go and learn the answers by watching somebody else and just repeating what the right answer is. But if you can't explain it, if you don't understand the science or you don't understand the explanation, you're no better than really just repeating what other people are saying. You know, I mean, it really is it feels good to know, to understand why something is the way it is.
Right. There's a place for rote learning. Rote learning has its place. You know, it helps kind of get people going, get people up to speed and where we are, but that doesn't give, that's just, like I said, it's just rote learning. That's not an understanding. And so it takes a little bit more. And what you're saying about adult education, adult learning is really important, because one thing you hear a lot is, this isn't what they taught us in school. This, they told me this was the way it was in school. But when you look outside, this is what you see. This, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. That is what they taught you in school, because you were in grade school.
Yes.
And you didn't choose to. And the way we do things is we don't say, hey, Billy, welcome to kindergarten. Let me give you some differential calculus, okay? Let me explain to you how all the trajectories of orbits work. Let me sort of give you the nuance of relativity. No, we give you building blocks. We give you simplified examples of things. So you, as your brain can gain some folds to it, so you can start to understand these things. And then as you get older, we give you more complex understanding and a deeper understanding.
Yeah.
But then after a while, it's like, you know what? It's up to you now. And if you don't take that extra step, and then you find out in life, it's like, well, wait a minute. So there's more than just the moon isn't the only thing affecting the tides. There's this and there's that. It's like, yeah, but that's not what they told me in school. It's like, yeah, because you stopped school. And if you had kept going, you would have learned more. And that is on you. That is totally on you that you haven't learned anymore.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we were talking about. It was the reason why they don't teach differential calculus to third graders is because third graders haven't learned how to learn that. They haven't learned how to put two smaller things together so many times that they don't have to focus on the smaller things to start building the bigger blocks, you know. And that's why when you get out of high school, what they're doing the entire time through high school, they're teaching you stuff, but they're also teaching you how to advance in your learning. So when you get to college, you're not done as a freshman. You're freshman through senior year in college, or the 4 years in college you spend are preparing you to learn even more when you get to graduate school. And then if you want to continue on after that, you still are always going to have to learn how to learn something that's more complicated than what they were prepared to teach you at the previous level of education.
Yeah, but yeah, people don't understand that. I mean, many people do. I'm not going to say people don't understand that, but it's a very important aspect of education, and it bothers me when people say, the schools have failed these people. It's like, no, the schools haven't failed them. Maybe we failed in explaining the importance of continuing their education.
Yeah.
But the schools are doing what they're supposed to do, which is give you the things you need to contribute to society in a positive way and continue to grow, giving you these building blocks, giving you these tools. But then they hand those tools to you and say, go do something. It's up to you now.
Yeah.
and it's not their fault.
And I haven't come across a single flat earther who has actually gone and done proper advanced education. Like Hip Hop Hippie is someone that me and Tim have both debated quite a lot, and he outright says that he left school before he'd even finished high school. Yet he still thinks that he can debunk all of science. Yeah, but he doesn't even have the basic grasp of what he's talking about. And if he'd actually applied himself, even just to the end of high school, then he probably wouldn't be a flat earther.
Right. Good chance, unless he, kind of grounded himself in place and said, I'm not going to change no matter what. But I challenge people like, okay, you are a hardcore flat earther. This is the way things are. Fine, be that way, but go take college courses. Go take university level courses. Go do the lab work. Do all the all the little workshops and do everything you need to do, and still try to hold on to that as you gain more and more understanding of these things. And I would love to see them try.
Well, it's not so much the understanding of things; it's learning how to critically think and actually break down a problem properly to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, critical thinking is a learned skill. Anybody that's ever done logic problems, like in the paperback books, I don't know if you do these or not. I think they're. Oh God! So see, you enjoy teasing your own mind. That's what I do too. But the more you do logic problems, the more you realize you can start seeing patterns. Those patterns that you're seeing on the logic board are learned patterns. You don't know those patterns the first time you do a logic problem. You go through the process of learning it, and then you're like, oh, okay, great, now I can do medium. Okay, great, now I can do hard. Now I can do super hard, and on from there. Now, I have a couple of super chats. Let's go ahead and get through those. John Rapp, $5 Aussie. Yes, sir. I love my Aussies. All hail Captain Skeptic and Colonel Greg, or he says Craig, but we're going to call you Greg tonight.
It's
the
Greg.
Cape Crusader. It's Greg, yeah. The Cape Crusader and the mild-mannered guy whose secret identity is not even known. I think they're talking about you, the voice. And we'll get to the voice in a minute because we have something interesting planned for everybody.
No.
Okay. Also, we have $6.66. Hell Sagan from NANA. Can I add to Aussie Globehead, Flat Earth Aussie Jesus? Eat a dick fun? Yeah. Have as much fun as you would like. The only thing I ask, guys, listen. The only thing I ask is that if anybody in the chat is not being overly spamming the chat, if they're not being hateful towards other people, and I'm talking about real hate, not just like, oh, he called him an idiot after everybody's called that guy an idiot, don't time him out for that. If you're going to call someone an idiot and they're going to call you an idiot back, that's part of the fun of calling people idiots, is that you're welcoming that back. So don't time out Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. Flat Earth Aussie Jesus, you're an idiot. Aussie Globehead's right. Eat a dick. Let's see. We have, I have fun with flat earthers, but they're welcome to have fun too. 9 o'clock hero, £1, 99p. I want to know who John Rapp is. John Rapp is John Rapp. It's John Wick's cousin. BT Bedazzle for $1. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And John Rapp for $5 Aussie dollars. Sorry, Craig. Meant to say secret superhero identity. Finish off the flurf, boys. Then fill in the graves. Yeah, Flat Earth's dead. You understand that, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
It completely is a problem, and it's the death throes of that struggle. I kind of liken it to, like say you ever try to like pop a balloon with your hands, and as you get to that point. Or it's just about to pop. That's actually when it fights back against you the most.
Yeah.
And they know it's just about to go, and they're just pushing. They're like, one last effort. We can do this. And it's like, no, it's coming. And you just don't know it. Yeah, you can't stop it.
Well, on that topic, Jerry, a lot of people give me flack for focusing so much on Anthony Riley, Sleeping Warrior.
Yeah.
But the rest of Flat Earth has stopped making new claims. He is the only Flat Earther that's trying to come up with new ideas. He's revived this whole cold moonlight thing, with an experiment with a magnifying glass.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
Okay, so I heard that this whole moonlight thing is starting to come back again, and you
Yes.
mentioned that. What is he doing?
He's going to get a meat thermometer and use a magnifying glass to shine the moonlight through the glass onto the tip of the thermometer to test the temperature of the moonlight being magnified.
A meat.
Yeah,
Stabby-
a meat thermometer.
Okay.
and he's gonna magnify the moonlight to increase its cold intensity, I guess.
And
For
so what
lack
happened
of a better word.
when he first made that claim, somebody actually sent me a thermal imaging camera just so I can disprove the whole premise, because glass blocks all infrared light.
Yeah, and also there's also the
Where
idea
does the
that
energy go?
if is it going to be at night? Is he going to make sure that the magnifying glass and whatever's holding it isn't also radiating heat that will then interfere with what's going on? I mean, because the magnifying glass itself is going to be kind of through radiative cooling is going to be kind of giving off stuff as well. It's how is he going to control for?
Oh, this is
These
Anthony Riley. There will be no controls, which is why I've actually started doing. Which is why I've actually started doing videos demonstrating why his premise is going to fail right out of the gate, and also showing radiative cooling in the real world without the moon being any part of it.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, I did that in one of mine.
Yeah, I think the video you had on your channel, I believe, was it a mirror of Where's Wally's video? Was that?
I did a mirror of the opening of it, the setting up of the experiment, and then I told people to go to his channel to watch the actual conclusion of it.
Okay, so that was on your channel, Sean. So, Greater Sapien, did you do the actual moonlight test yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I thought you did. Did you have it sweeping across as well?
Well, I had it set up with a control and then a moon and with the moon, and then I did it again the next day with the exact same set. Well, actually, a week later, since with the moon not risen yet, with no moon, the exact same situation, and the exact same result came out. It's like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if the moon was there or not. The fact that there was this object right over it, blocking it, screwed up the radiative cooling. And then I did another one where I just stuck a board next to the one that would supposedly have the moon, and it just the board having objects next to it just through radiative cooling screwed up the thing. But my favorite control is just take this, as Sean's doing, take the moon out of the experiment. Just take the moon out of it and see what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take that moon out.
Well, yeah. Speaking of which, the person we have a new twist to that experiment that you may not have taken into consideration. It needs to be during a waxing moon. You can't just do it during any moon.
No, it's a waning.
I'm sorry, a waning moon.
phase,
A waning
apparently.
moon. Yeah, that's what.
Why? Because it's gotten why?
Because
What
Harold
is the
said
argument
so.
being made? What is the argument?
Yeah,
being made?
don't censor Harold. Stop censoring Harold.
Stop
Yeah,
censoring
so I had a
Harold.
guy on my channel recently. Called Howard George Stirrup, but we've renamed him Harold because reasons. And he has made the claim that moonlight isn't cooling; it's just the waning phase of the moon cools water specifically.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But
Interesting.
yeah. Okay, so we do have some super chats to go through. $2 from the band.
Yeah, that's broken your brain.
From the banner of Homura Akimi, I believe. Let me go back and make sure I'm saying that. Homura Akimi. Hashtag stop censoring Harold. Yes, stop censoring Harold, guys. Don't censor him, please.
Hashtag
Is that an
stop
official
censoring Harold.
hashtag now?
Well, it is
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's taken over Twitter. I think there's about 35,000 tweets a day coming from all over the world, from people just wanting to not be censored anymore, hiding under the hashtag Stop Censoring Harold. So if you're on Twitter, have fun with it. Just stop censoring Harold, guys. Hashtag.
So there's a special property. I'm sorry. There's a special property of a waning or a waxing moon. Which is it? Waxing,
No,
waning?
waning moon.
A waning
It's a
moon
waning moon.
that is cool. It has a cooling effect. It's a cool.
No,
It
no,
has a
specifically
cooling
for water. It just cools water.
Oh,
Nothing
and
else,
just
just water.
put objects that contain
Yeah.
water as well. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Possibly.
That's like
Okay.
every human cell and on the
Huh.
every skin cell. All right, we also have God's Auditor for $2. Flat Earth Aussie Jesus admitted his math education stopped at age 13. I honestly fucking believe him when he says that. Any flat earther that truly believes that the Earth
13's
is
a bit
flat,
of a push.
yeah, you're right. I'm gonna need to see a citation on that there, Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. We might need to bring you in and ask you about internal angles on triangles and shit. Bubble Burster for $5 says, I knew Sleeping Deuce would find some way to perform the experiment laughably wrong. I didn't know how anyone could. Oops. Hold on, let me scoot it over. I didn't know how anyone could possibly could, but he found a way. Yeah, Sleeping Deuce, also known as Sleeping Warrior, also known as the Chicken Choker. He is an idiot.
Clucking Warrior.
Clucking Warrior as well. Yeah, So we have to go. I guess we have to explain that to.
I'm like, what? You're just kind of like
Okay.
breezing past Chicken Choker. How
Okay.
do you just lay out
So,
Chicken Choker and then just
he-
keep walking?
All right, so I'm going to turn this over to Fight the Flat Earth. Go ahead and explain the rooster, Riley's rooster, for him and where this all
Right.
comes from.
So we've been arguing with Riley about a specific area of the scientific method, and that is if time can be classed as an independent variable. Now, the premise that he gave me is that every morning you wake up because the rooster wakes you up. But if you murder the rooster, then you've taken away one of the variables. And he was... Sean, can you explain that better?
Well, yeah, Sean,
Okay.
you want to go? I know how to if you don't.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you're trying to figure out if the
His
sun
stupidity
rising is
confuses
caused
me.
by the rooster crowing in the morning.
The sun
So his
rises.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So his premise is his independent variable is the rooster. So if you shoot the rooster in the head, it's no longer causing the sun to rise. So, something disproven.
But the joke stems around he could choose anything to do with the rooster that he wanted to do to the rooster. But what he chose to do was shoot it in the head to see if the sun rises or not. So his hypothesis is if I go outside and shoot the rooster in the head, the sun won't rise. So he's now Clucking Warrior, Chicken Choker, any funny kind of pun you can think of dealing with poultry. All right, let's see. And it was Sleeping Dunce, not Sleeping Deuce, but he might as well be called Sleeping Deuce as well.
Sleeping
Sleeping
Deuce
Deuce.
works.
Yeah, Sleeping Deuce.
You can see my graphic behind me, Jerry.
Yeah, I've seen that going on.
Got an at.
So, are you familiar with the? Are you familiar with Red's Rhetoric's yearly competition, the Dumb Fuck of the Year award?
Yes, I am familiar
Okay.
with it. I called it something else earlier, but yes, I'm familiar with it.
So, how familiar are you with the two? Okay, first off, there's 3 leading candidates this year. One, we'll talk about him separately, but we're going to talk about the 2 that everybody wants to talk about. JM Truth, all right, and Sleeping Warrior. Are you familiar with both of those dipshits?
I have literally just been introduced to JM Truth last week by writer of Dinosaurs.
Yes,
Yep.
I love
Writer
that
of
guy.
Dinosaurs.
I love
Quality
that guy.
guy.
Yes.
And I was, he dropped me a link on Twitter, and I was like, what the hell have you done to me? It's like, why would you introduce me to this?
So
He hates you. He absolutely hates you.
So
I was
it
like,
also
what?
his
And he's like, hey, check my channel out for more stuff. I'm like, is it more of that guy?
Well, he really made himself famous in our scene when he came onto a live stream that we were having. It was me, Fight the Flat Earth, and Nathan Thompson. And Nathan Thompson was wrong. He was saying that space is a negative pressure system, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't. Yeah, you're not making any sense there. So then this guy joins, and I'm like, hey, who's this guy? He's like, oh, that's that's my friend J.M. Truth. He's got a master's in science. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let's have a conversation with this guy who has a master's in science then. You know, we're at the end of a live stream. We'll have a 5-10 minute conversation because I'd love to hear somebody who is actually educated in science come to me and try to argue the flat earth with me so I don't feel like I'm arguing with third graders, you know? So the first thing, we start talking and then we
Can't you
get to
get a
it.
master's in science of like gym?
Oh, okay. Well, before we
Can't you
got
get a
to
master's-
before we got to that point in our dealings with him, he had gone through. He had said that 10 to the negative 17 was a negative number.
No, it's a very small,
Yeah.
small decimal.
Yes, we know this. Everybody knows
But
this, except for
he
him.
said that because of the whole, the typical flat Earth argument of, oh well, the space is negative 17 Tor. That's what they all say, but they
Yeah.
don't understand that there's no such thing as negative Tor, and they're actually talking about 10 to the negative 17
Negative,
being a very
right.
small number.
Gotcha.
So he messed that up, and so we brought him back on. He started talking about that he has a master's in science degree. Turns out it's in information and technology design. So he has
Making
a master's
comic
degree. Yeah, he has a master's degree in operating a stapler and a copier.
Well,
Literally.
just for clarity, Skeptic, my first interaction with J.M. Truth was moderating your debate with him. And he brought up, I have a master's in science. I immediately stopped the debate and says, in what?
Yeah.
If you have a master's in science, there is a subfield that you have to have a master's degree in.
Yeah.
So I called him out on it, and then he corrected
And
himself. It's a master's of science.
Science, yeah.
So it's it's an honorary degree.
And it's
Okay.
not in any STEM field or anything, you know?
Yeah, he got a 1-year degree from Full Sail. That's what his degree is in. He has a bachelor's degree in film production, and if you watch any of his films, there's no way in any reality you could ever imagine that you would hire this guy to do any professional work for you.
Jerry,
But he
I'll send
also
you the
has-
link to his zombie movie that he made. If you ever want a good
Oh.
laugh, then just
Yeah.
watch this zombie movie that he made.
Agreed.
It's
You will have a
glorious. But
Okay,
the
so
thing
let
is,
me.
he tries to because he's got this Masters of Science. His argument is that he is a subject matter expert on anything to do with science and physics. That's why he brings it up. But it doesn't
like
work.
he's
like
doing-
that.
doing-
So
He's
So
doing
like-
the
like-
worst case.
So does like He-Man have like expertise on everything in the universe because he's freaking master of the universe? What the hell?
Yeah, he's literally doing the worst case argument to authority because he's placing himself in an authoritative position when he's just nothing but Benny
Yes.
Kruger.
Oh, and he says
And he says
in
that he
every,
has-
okay. And every time he's on a live show or every time he's somewhere new where he might be speaking to a new audience, he says something along these lines. I hate to bring it up, but I have a master's of science. Like it always is it's always like it always starts with I hate bringing this up, but I feel like I'm forced to because I'm in the debate arena. No, you're not.
And
You don't. Scientists don't
he
pay
did-
attention to you.
he was doing an interview and he said about, I've got this Masters of Science and I have deconstructed and debunked all of Einstein's and Newton's theories.
Yeah, in the video I debunked just recently, the one that came out yesterday. Go watch it if you haven't, guys. He says that following saying that he has all the degrees and whatnot, he says the sun can't possibly in space because there is no oxygen in space, and the sun
Because
needs
it's on fire.
It
That's
needs
'cause it's on
oxygen
fire.
to remain
Yeah.
on fire. Oh my God, are you fucking stupid? Wow. JM Truth, you're a fucking idiot, bro. Where's my goddamn digit? Ding. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously.
I
now
feel
let me
bad
get-
that I made you break all your dingers.
Yes, Sean is the official Dinger Slayer. We actually have a channel membership level dedicated to him. Okay, so let's see. Let me get to the super chats back there. Okay, we go to Raven Zero for $5. Thank you very much, Raven Zero. Team Skeptic as Master Chief and FTFE as Doomslayer, fighting the stupidity of Flat Earth. Yeah, I'd go all Halo on him and play Master Chief for sure. James Collins for $2.99. These shows are better than debates by far. Yes, James, I love being a part of these shows. Even when we don't have great guests like Greater Sapien, Martimer, Professor Dave, even when we don't have those great guests that are on there, I still have Fight the Flat Earth and Sean, and we throw a pretty goddamn good show. So thank you very much, James Collins. BT Bedazzle for $2. Greater Sapien for Smartass of the Year. I'll take that.
I don't know about smartass of the year. Some of you guys have been, putting in the work to be a smartass this year.
Well, we're just trying to be as badass as you are, Mr. Sapien. We did have somebody ask what your shirt says, because we know here in the studio, because we saw it already, but would you like to show that off?
So, physics does not care if you agree. Let me see which way that looks.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. Yeah. I need one.
Hey, team, before you read the rest of your super chats, I just want to read one comment that's been sent to me. So Anthony Thomas says, at Fight the Flat Earth, I thought you had a moon orbiting the Earth behind you. My mistake, it's a twatterlight.
Yes, it is. Good shit, Anthony. Let's see. All right. Todd Peachley for $5. How does Sapien explain that we travel on two intersecting curved trajectories that are constantly changing in relationship to each other? I guess this is a sharpshooter question for you there, Greater
Gravity
Sapien.
wells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whether you could, if you think about gravity in terms of on the kind of the Newtonian way of thinking of it as a force, pulling, an object onto a path, or if you look at it, in a more Einsteinian, more a deeper view of, say, gravity wells in curved space, it's what's the word for it? Is it geodesic? What's it when it?
Geodesic. Geodesic.
Moves on a particular staying on the shortest path. What is that?
Geodesic.
It is geodesic. So it's gravity wells. That's its quickest way of saying it.
Yeah, and frames of reference are a thing.
Somebody in chat has asked for the sharpshooters.
Oh yeah, we'll do that here in a second. The sharpshooter questions. Let me get through the super chats. Yeah, just so
basic IQ test.
Yeah, but, we ask you questions that we typically ask any flat earther that comes on, and they struggle every single goddamn time. We've already asked you one of them, the 10 to the negative 17th, but we got a few more to ask you. All right, so yeah. Now, for Todd Peachley, I'd like to give my take on that. Let's see. Explain that we travel on two intersecting trajectories that are constantly changing in relationship to each other. It doesn't matter because it's our frame of reference is only going in one direction, and that to us is standing still. That's nowhere. So yes, we feel the different trajectories or whatever. Any force that you would feel due to us being on different trajectories are so small that we wouldn't even realize that they were there. It's just like the spinning of the Earth. We all feel centrifugal force, and we don't even know it. The reason why we don't know it is because it is two forces that are in contradiction to one another, and we're feeling the sum total of all the forces acting on the object. And that's basically Todd Peachley's answer from my point of view, at least. All right.
Right.
So
you're trying to tell me that you don't have centrifugal force pulling briefly, and then gravitational force afterwards, and then centrifugal, and then everything's kind of working at once? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what a lot of people. A lot of people
understand, like vector addition, like how these things. Why do they think it's that force? It's not like one force is pulling this arm and another force is pulling that one, so I'm supposed to experience the two forces.
This is one of the things Mind of God. Yeah, this is one of the things Mind of God has a problem understanding. He thinks that two objects, and he thinks that the strength of so the Earth pulling. Let's say you have three objects. You have the Earth, you have one object here, and one object right above it. Right? He believes that the force of the Earth pulling down on this object should add to the force of the Earth pulling down on this object. So you're getting double force pulling down. He's like, we don't see that. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You get the force pulling between the Earth.
pulling on the second object is coming through the first one, and it should all. That's what he thinks.
That's what he thinks,
Yeah.
because the line of the force goes through the first object. The line of the force from the second object goes through the first object, that it should increase in its strength because it's combining with that object. And I'm like, no, that's not how gravity works, man. And he doesn't understand. But let's see. We got Mr. Bozohead says, Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. Hey, do you have this clip, the Father Ted clip, please? Will you get that one ready? Fight the Flat Earth. Mr. Bozohead, I'm gonna wait and read yours out in a second. When Fight the Flat Earth is ready. Rocket scientist for $5 Vote Riley for Dumbfuck of the Year. Sorry, Team Skeptic. JM is an idiot, but ridiculous Riley rules. Now, we've kind of covered just a few basic things that JM Dipshit has said since making himself known to the public. Are you aware of Riley's thesis? We've talked about his choking the chicken problem, but are you aware of Riley's thesis there, Greater Sapien?
He has a thesis? Is it something you've named after him? Or is,
No, it's his master's. It's his thesis to get his master's degree.
I didn't make this one up.
Oh, an actual thesis. I thought you were like, you just bestowed upon some, rule.
It's been affectionately dubbed as a fleesis, but if you ever read it, you'll see why.
Yeah, it's horrible.
The clip's ready whenever you are, team.
Okay. He actually he turned it in. Okay, Sean, I'm going to turn it over to you. You're more informed on that whole subject, so go ahead.
Okay, he's going back to school. He did a GoFundMe to pay for his university costs, and the GoFundMe was to sneak flat Earth into the curriculum at schools. So he's going for a law degree. He's going for his master's degree in law. Well, the first time he was submitting his thesis, it was outright rejected. The university said, we cannot accept this. It is so bad, we can't accept it. And it had nothing to do with the contents. It was just the format was so bad. It went against the rules. So they actually let him redo it, and he did, and they accepted it barely. But oh my God, I'm looking for it. I actually have it saved. I'll actually send it to you via Discord.
He's yet to defend it, though.
What's that?
What's that?
He just submitted it. He has yet to defend it. He has to.
I don't think he's going to get to that point.
It's not going to get to that point.
No. I mean, it's so bad, Jerry, that it didn't even have a title page, like a table of contents, a brief about what it was.
Oh, no,
it didn't even have his name on it, you know. And there was at one point on it, at page 23, where he actually cited his own YouTube video as a source.
That's awesome. That's a baller move right there.
That is a baller move. That requires effort and confidence. You know what I'm saying? Either extreme stupidity, poor guidance, or a fucking confidence that is worth bragging about to anybody. All right, so are you ready? Fight the Flat Earth.
Yep.
Mr. Bozohead, this one's for you. He says, £3.33, Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. Watch Father Ted Caravan and Cows episode. Go ahead there, Fight the Flat Earth.
One last time. These are small, but the ones out there are far away. Small, far away.
That was for you, Aussie Jesus.
All right,
Yes.
Jerry. If you want to log into Discord, I've just sent you a private message with Riley's paper or his thesis.
Oh, okay, I'll log later.
All right, and then Game Nerd for 200 yen, yen or ruples. I'm not sure which one that is. You guys can berate me later. Says Masters of Science is not the worst thing JM Truth says. He actually thinks he is a physicist / research scientist. Yes, so part of his thing that he's told people is that he is a physicist. Okay, and we've explained to him, no, you're not. You're not a physicist. You're actually being very disingenuous to people who dedicate their lives to physics and to learning new things and to help making our lives better. And he just doesn't get it. He thinks because he is a physics enthusiast, by definition, he's a physicist. And because he has ridiculous thought experiments, like he just says, oh, this can't happen because of this reason, he's also now a research scientist. He's an idiot. Ding. Okay, so we have Stephen York for $7.99 Aussie dollars. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Dingers in Australia are condoms. Stop breaking them and only practice safe dinging. Will do, sir. Will fucking do. Great advice. Thank you very much. Luchan Andrews for 10 Rons. JM makes awesome science documentary films. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he has a documentary film coming out called The Plain Truth. He has asked Fight the Flat Earth to be in the documentary and sign an NDA.
Yeah, we'll call that an NDA.
And oh my god.
Oh, have you seen?
So
we've seen
if I sign,
Yeah,
If-
Greg,
no, I
give him
haven't
a
shown
copy
it.
of the NDA. Give him a copy of the NDA.
Yeah,
And
I'll
let's
send
see
that
his
to you.
live reaction.
But basically,
It's
if
just
I
one
sign
page.
this, if I sign this NDA, Jerry, then I'm literally not allowed to debunk flat Earth anymore.
That's hilarious. I mean, I've had to sign a lot of NDAs just for my work, but
Yeah, right.
I'm curious.
Well,
so I
here's a
know.
quick question. Here's a quick question. I know that you're working in the legal profession, so I'm not sure this is going to apply like it does to movie industry. Do you have a time limit that you're held under the NDA? Do they always have a release date?
Yes. These might have.
Go ahead.
Not
Go
this
ahead
one.
and give Jerry a copy of this NDA. I want to see his reaction live because he's seen a lot of them. You know, that's part of his business.
Where is it?
Yeah, when Craig showed this to me, I about died laughing.
Hey, Writer of Dinosaurs just messaged me and he said, thank you for the shout out, Greater Sapien. Writer of Dinosaurs is actually in my latest video. Okay, so we're talking about JM Truth because he's the one that sent this NDA. His spelling errors are horrendous. Okay, horrendous. In this video that I debunked yesterday, I had this one slide and I saw like the first sentence. I saw 5 errors in the first sentence, and I said, nope, I'm leaving this one. I'm gonna call Writer of Dinosaurs and see if he wants to join in on this fun. And Writer of Dinosaurs joined in 2 lines, Jerry. 2 lines. He has 13 grammatical errors. I'm not making this up. I didn't even do this to make him look bad. It's not me. It wasn't Writer of Dinosaurs. It was all fucking JM Truth and my English teacher teaching me the right fucking shit and seeing JM Truth and his fucking horrendous grammatical fucking
I think he's got
talent.
it.
I've sent you the NDA on Discord.
I was saying my Discord is some reason being stupid. I'm on a different machine today. Can you email it to me? Or something? Greater Sapien at
sure.
Gmail.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Yeah, I don't mind people knowing my email address now.
So let's do one of the sharpshooters real quick while we're waiting.
Okay.
What are you doing, Skeptic?
I'm reading chat. Sorry.
Oh, let's hit him with a couple sharpshooters while we're waiting for the email.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have a triangle with sides 1, 1, and 1. What are your internal angles?
1, 1, and 1. They are each 60.
Thank you.
Well,
Ding,
yeah,
ding,
yeah.
ding.
Yeah. Just make sure I was thinking right.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
So we asked Flat Earth Jesus that, and his answer was 67.
Yeah.
Not sure why.
Wait, what?
Okay. So,
What does he think it's supposed to add up to? That's 108, 100, 201? What's that supposed to add up to?
I've emailed you that NDA, Jerry.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so
Okay.
all right, so we there's one that says and I've learned to reword this question to make sure that it's 100% right. Can time be an independent variable a dependent variable, or both?
Something I don't really think about that often. Let's see. Time does what it's gonna do. In any, you talking about in any type of experiment? Yeah.
Any type of experiment where time would be a variable.
What would it be dependent on?
There you go.
I'm trying to figure. I'm trying to figure out.
No, well, we did come. This is the reason why I had to reword the question, because you can make time a dependent variable if you say, I'm going to throw a ball directly up in the air, and I want to see how long it's going to take to hit the ground, and then I'm going to increase the amount of force I put into the ball and measure how much time it's going to take to hit the ground again, and then I can determine, based on the amount of force I put in, the relationship between the time being dependent upon the force that I put in.
Yeah, but isn't the force actually the
That would be the
actual
independent.
independent variable on that one, yeah.
And then the
So I
time would
guess-
be, the time the ball was in the air would be dependent upon the amount of force that you put in.
The force, yeah.
Can I just address someone in the chat who's been spamming a question? Obviously a flat earther, Todd Peachy. He keeps asking, address seeing stars through the moon. I've seen it with my eyes, and astronomers have reported it for years. Well, yeah, that's all to do with stellar aberration. We can actually observe stars up to 20.5 arc-second displaced from the long-term average position. So, we're not literally seeing them through the moon. It's a particular type of stellar aberration called annual aberration. And, literally, it's not seeing stars through the moon because the moon's a solid object. Very much so. I mean, does this look like something you can see through?
Yeah, the left side of it. All right. So Lee Cross Chaos, he did say another good point, another good time where you can make time a dependent variable, and this was done, or I explained this a while back too. Would be with like gravitational wells and time dilation.
Right.
So
yeah. Right.
you could measure the rate at which time changes based on where you are in a gravitational field. And that's another time that's another place.
Which is something that comes up all the time in our GPS systems.
Yeah, GPS, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm learning right now. Well, I'm not really learning it. I knew it already. I knew special relativity a lot better than I knew the general relativity. I knew general relativity. The math behind general relativity is unbelievably hard. It's not anything anybody can just easily do with a calculator. You need a lot of paper so you can write it out, or a computer to do it for you. But at the same time, it's more correct than Newtonian gravity. So thank goodness that there are people that are out there doing it. But learning why time dilates, oh man, that's the most craziest thing in the world. And
what I think that's a great kind of subject that is another example of how certain levels of education are important, because there is Newtonian physics, and that works for pretty much everything we do on a normal basis, and so it's functionally correct.
Yeah.
It's operably correct. But when you want to do something on another scale, you need a little more detail. You need a little more nuance in your calculations, and that's when you get into Einsteinian and relativity. But there are people who don't. They think everything is supposed to just be this. Like, no, everything is what it is, and it doesn't matter what scale. It's either wrong or it's right. So Einstein proved him wrong. It's like, no, we didn't prove him wrong. We just proved him not thorough enough.
Less right.
Limited in his realm.
Yeah, and stuff like what Newton did, he couldn't explain stuff like time dilation. It didn't make sense to what the ideas he was pushing. It just would have never come up that time would be moving slower and relative to clocks in a lower gravitational field. It just would have never come up in his ideology, or the way he came through got to the end of his theories. It took understanding other things later in life, or later, in humans' technology advancements, to get to a point where we're starting to question why certain things are the way they are, and coming up with things like general relativity and special relativity to explain what we see in reality, like, for instance, like time dilation. I mean, we know this to be true now. I mean, like you said, our GPS systems are based off of knowing how to calculate for the time dilation for the satellites. But like you said, you never had that need for Newton, and I don't think Newton would have ever came up with something like that given his time, nor would he have even had the ability to really test it.
Right. Well, yeah, it's kind of experiential. Where Newton's time, it's like, okay, we had carriages, we had boats that that moved at a certain speed. You had motion was kind of limited to this certain amount of experience, and so when all the physics that he dealt with was at that level, and then you have, as you get further into the industrial age and things start moving faster and you start experiencing speeds at higher and higher levels, you start thinking, what if we're going even faster than this? What if we're going even faster than that? And then someone says, what's it like? What would it be like to be going the speed of light? What would it be like? But back in Newton's, there wasn't the experience in the world to even to get that way. He would have been so much more of a genius than he already was to take that extra leap. He would have been a madman to take that extra leap.
Well, even Einstein wouldn't have been where he was at without Newton. When they say they're standing on the shoulders of giants, they truly mean that. Like, the people like Newton's contributions to physics, are amazing, but he also had a lot of contributions to math, like calculus in particular. I think that's what he is known for being one of the founding fathers of, is differential calculus, I believe. But like I said, it took him doing all that to put Einstein in a position to do what he did. Thank goodness that humans are very interesting creatures. We poke and prod at things that we don't understand until we understand it, and then we look even further, even deeper into the whole of unknowingness and seek knowledge there. And when we get to finding all the knowledge there, we find out there's another well to get to.
It's the whole climbing up to the top of the hill. And when you get to the top of the hill, you finally get to a point where you can see the other hill way over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what's at the top of that one? And then when you climb to the top of that one, now you can see, whoa, there's a whole land over there. Okay, let's just keep going. And that's just what happens. You just build and build and build and build. And if Newton hadn't done what he did, I can't remember, someone else was also developed same time. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either, and that's unfortunate, because he too was. For the calculus part, yes. And in fact, we would have always had someone coming along behind them. It wouldn't have. It's not necessarily that it was absolutely Newton that it was necessary for us to be where we're at today, but probably in the time frame that we reach today at. If it hadn't have happened with Newton, had it happened 100 years later, we would have been delayed another 100 years.
Right. So, or even a generation, 20 years later, we're started to be spread more in the scientific community. But if it's not spread far and wide enough, then it won't be there when Einstein gets there.
Right.
And so then he misses out on it. And So
all right,
not to take away from themselves.
Well, not to derail, but have you had a chance to look at that NDA yet?
Yeah, I've been kind of glancing every so while, but I get a little distracted. That's me glancing at it over here. Where did I hide that thing? I had it over here.
Thoughts, opinions, laughter, baseball?
I'll give you a second, Jerry, to glance over it. I'm gonna cover a couple of super chats. 9 o'clock hero. Flurfers are great. I wish I had the power to turn off. I wish I had the power to turn off gravity at will. Yeah, they don't believe in gravity. That's a weird thing, because every one of them would fall straight to the ground if they jumped off of a building. So, PSA, don't try that at home. I have to tell flat earthers not to try that for some reason. All right, Galby 3000 for 2 pounds. It's 14 errors. He missed one. What? Did Rider of Dinosaurs miss an error? Say it ain't so.
It's
Say
possible
it.
There
he
were
is
so
human.
many already.
Galby, if you will, please tell me in the chat, tag me, and tell me in the chat what he missed, so I can unsubscribe from him. Holy crap, that's crazy. All right, I'm just kidding. I would never unsubscribe from that guy. I love him to death. I know he's out in the audience watching right now. C4 for $10. Jimmy! Hey, Greater Sapien, good to see you. I'm sorry if this question has already been addressed. With you will you be doing live streams again? They were always, they were always educational and fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed going on your live streams too.
I may. I'm not sure. I'm really kind of trying to take possession of my time as much as possible. And live streams have a tendency to expand about, beyond their borders of whatever we.
It was during one of your live streams that Young Blue Skeptic asked you to shout me out, and it gave me a massive boost, like just when I'd started.
Young Blue is not around anymore. I do remember that. Is Young Blue gone?
He's quit YouTube, it seems.
He got a lot of flack from. He got a lot of flack about his age from the Nathan Oakley crew, and it kind of made him shy away from YouTube, and he eventually just quit entirely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I can see why they would go after him for his age, because they didn't feel they could be as mean to him. I mean, they wanted to be as insulting and petty as possible, but they also knew that they would look fucking foul if they did that, and so they couldn't stand the fact that they had this person was kind of a off limits target for them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when you have somebody that you want to address, whether they're wrong or not. If you think they're wrong and you want to address them, and they're kind of in that no addressing zone, that can be frustrating on both sides, because maybe you want the recognition, maybe you want people coming back at you saying
that.
Go ahead.
That's part of the problem, though. Nathan was the exception to that rule, Greater Sapien, because as we all know, Nathan has no problem smacking kids. So,
yes, nice callback there.
Low blow.
Slapgate.
Slappy the clown. I like that one. All right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it can be even frustrating for even like a Young Blue Skeptic to, like I said, not get that recognition back from the people he's addressing. Like, I like it when I address somebody and then they come back with that video, but you didn't say this, but you forgot to take this into account, when I'm pretty damn thorough in what I do, so I know I did take it into account. I love the recognition of that. I don't think Young Blue was getting the recognition because people would see him addressing him and say, maybe I shouldn't make this video about this kid. And I agree with them there. It's an off-limits thing. I don't do videos on children. And I see kid videos all the time talking flat earth. If you go and you search flat earth, you see little kids walking around saying, oh, yeah, the earth is flat. They're doing it for clickbait, like they do their Fortnite videos. They put Fortnite videos and tag them flat earth,
God, my son's obsessed with Fortnite again.
The new map, right? Okay, so we know we don't. 2. Okay, so we know we don't have Jerry around for a while. So there is a couple of things we're going. Yeah, we're gonna try to wrap you up here pretty quick, and I've got
I'm loving this NDA here, though.
Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and address that NDA real quick.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this thing, and so he's making a flat Earth video production, and it's pretty much anything that comes up is off limits, huh?
Yeah.
And I like, or even if you're threatened to, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally, if I sign that, I literally can't mention flat Earth on YouTube again.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You should definitely sign that.
I particularly like the part. I particularly like the part where he says that this non-disclosure agreement is in effect until I say so in writing.
All right.
Yeah.
So
That's stupid.
Okay, so the question of the night, Mr. Greater Sapien, is going to be about comics. What is your position on DC versus Marvel? And we're not going to get any specifics. We're just going to leave that question there. If you have any questions for for Greater Sapien and the audience regarding comics, DC versus Marvel,
DC.
ask them now. Ask them now, and I will tag me in them, and I'll read them off to him. But go ahead, Greater Sapien. Start us off with your feelings. DC versus Marvel.
Okay, DC versus Marvel. First of all, I am a classic Marvel zombie from the 70s and 80s. DC gives produce what I think are the best iconic characters. They're like archetypal characters, like the pantheon of the gods. They are the best kind of like archetype characters in terms of like the quintessential superheroes. While Marvel is more about the humans, is more about the people that are kind of behind the power and behind the hero. And so that's what's kind of always appealed to me about Marvel. I like them. I've liked them both in the past. I haven't really touched DC in about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years or so, I think. I mean, I pick up things here and there, when someone I know particularly is doing something. But I like the classic kind of more flawed character that comes from Marvel books.
So you say you kind of like the flawedness to the Marvel characters? To Marvel or DC?
To Marvel.
To Marvel, yeah.
DC,
Okay. I want to make sure.
It's
DC's Superman, can't
well,
be.
But Superman is great as like the quintessential superhero, but he's not. He's not as relatable as the Marvel characters. It takes a really good writer to get the best out of Superman, but it can be done.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Go ahead.
You have to come up with more ways to take away Superman's powers to actually make him interesting. And that's the New 52 concentrated on quite a lot about the weaknesses that he have. But they also introduced a whole bunch of new powers that Superman also gained, like the solar burst and things like that. There's not one character in Marvel that could go toe to toe with Superman.
Right, that's what. Yeah, and I understand, but there are completely different universes. But I don't find a hero like that as appealing because you don't need to be as heroic when you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want. You don't need unless you can bring in that character study of how does he not use his power? If you can have somebody come in and say, how does Superman limit himself? And make it that study, and it takes a lot of work to do that. So oftentimes it's failed.
I remember playing the Xbox 360 Superman video game that came out the same time as the Superman Returns movie, and it wasn't Superman that had the health bar; it was the city that you were in. You had to take care to not destroy the city whilst you were doing things.
That's
I guess Zack Snyder never played that game, huh?
No.
All right, so let me get through a few more super chats. $4.99. These shows are better than the debates. Everyone chillin', having quality intellectual conversation that is facepalm free. Free the meat tubes. Now have we had the conversation about meat tubes yet? And Taco Bell, Greater Sapien.
No.
Okay.
No.
So you're old enough to know what I went through as a child. Okay. Do you remember eating at Taco Bell in the late 80s, early 90s? We're going to go back a little further.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you ever remember when the meat was not actually meat, but it was kind of a pasty material?
I don't know if it was in my region. Last thing I remember was the meat being the crumbly, the little. I don't remember the paste. I didn't have the meat paste. I must have lucked out.
They didn't squeeze it out of a meat tube onto your taco for you, just with a caulk gun. That's basically, it looked like a little caulk gun. It's like,
And that wasn't cheese.
no, it was meat.
He's convinced. He's absolutely convinced that the meat tube is a real thing.
Now we know how you feel about the Mandela effect, but
Okay.
swear to God, Team Skeptic is like the biggest sufferer of the Mandela effect when it
No,
comes to the
I'm
meat tube.
not. Everybody,
Yeah, I don't-
one
yeah,
second.
you
1 second. I'm
No,
about
I'm
to
not,
show
I'm not
y'all.
saying. I'm saying it's not of my experience. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm just saying it wasn't of my experience.
All right. So I've got to show the audience this, though.
Are you going to show them what you showed me earlier, Skeptic?
Yes.
I wasn't sitting at the window of the drive-through, kind of going, "Let me watch them make this food."
Oh no.
Well,
this was
let's
like-
just say that
Oh,
on Friday,
God, this looks so
I started
gross.
calling him TS Truth because he's actually pulling a JM Truth here.
Yeah, I'm not interested in any truth whatsoever. I just remember the shit. There's one version of the meat tube right there, guys. Oh, great. There's
Okay,
one.
now
But
just
look,
to
hold
clarify,
on. Look, hold on. Let's go ahead and go here and see it. See pictures of it. There it is, right there. That is a look at
Yeah.
that. That big old meat
yeah,
gun right
what's that
there.
called? What's that called?
We don't want to talk
Are you
about
gonna
what
cherry
it's used
pick?
for. It's a yeah, I'm cherry
Oh,
picking
so
this
yeah, cherry picking.
one. No, it's a beef jerky maker, but you jam beef in there and you squeeze it out. That's what I saw basically, but it was of course not. It didn't look as clean back in the day because it was in the early 90s when nobody really cared about health. So yeah, the meat tube exists. The meat tube.
He
What do you
is
mean
so
in your
desperate
mind?
for this to be true. He's so desperate for this to be true. He's ignoring all the people who've worked at Taco Bell. He said, "No, this isn't a thing." He's literally conflating this relatively new beef jerky.
Wait, you're asking people who worked at Taco Bell? You mean they were under like the Taco Bell payment? Like they're part of big Taco
Yeah.
Bell?
Yeah, they're
And they've
part
said
of,
no.
No, listen, yeah, Big Taco. They're
Taco.
a part. They are actively members of they. Yes,
Of they-
they're here to hide the meat tube and its existence because they. I mean, Taco Bell's a staple across the world these days. If
So
people
TS
knew
Truth
they-
over here is building a huge conspiracy about the meat tube that they is trying to hide.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Greater Sapien. Okay, while I have had about 50 people reach out to me and say, "Look, I was a manager at Taco Bell, late '80s, early '90s, mid '90s, late '90s," whenever you think you might have seen it, I always get at least one or two that says that they work there and they remember it. So I can't give it up yet. The people want me to give it up, but I refuse to give it up.
You got like 50, my first thought was, you got 50 people telling you this. How much are you talking about this, man?
He's got an
brought up
emoji
once a
about
live
it.
stream. Yeah, look, hold on. Hey, members, if you're in the chat, Greater Sapien can see the chat. Please share your meat tube. Everybody, share the meat tube.
Oh, was that that little gun?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that's the
filled
meat
with-
tube.
That's a meat tube there, buddy. That's how they used to put food on tacos back in the day.
Feel free,
All right,
Sonic.
so
Any in your
let me
minds?
let me get through let me get through the rest of the super chats in case any of them are for you before you have to get out of here. Let's see. We have UTB Doug. He's a channel member. I'm sure he'll be showing off his meat tube here in a second. $2. Oh my gosh, £2 and then he said it. Look at this. Remember, guys, dingers first, then Sean.
Mankini.
That's what he fucking typed, Sean. He put it in there, Mankini. No, UTB Doug. No, Sean. The order when we welcome a new member to the channel, anytime I have a new membership come up, we give them the treatment. We first show them our dingers, and before you get all weirded out by that, we have an emoji. That's this one right here, my skeptic dinger. So we do it in an order. We show them our dingers first. We then show them our meat tube, and then we dress up for them. Let me go ahead and show you the meat tube, and then we dress up for the new members in our as close to our birthday suit as we can get without being demonetized, and that's our mankini. So yeah, that's the order we do it in. And Sean and Fight the Flat Earth can't seem to get it right. Fight the Flat Earth.
We
got it
just
right
like to
one
trigger him.
time,
No,
but
you can't get it right.
I got
You
it
can't
right.
get it right, team.
I made the rules up, guys. I get it right. Okay, so then we have 5,000 Kuyasa dollars, because I don't know what those are, Kuyasa. and I hope I said that right. It said, did you guys ever read Turtle Dove's Road Not Taken? Do you guys think it's science are inevitable or maybe totally different? I've never read it, but I will read it.
I've never heard of it.
No.
Yeah, Road Not
No.
Taken. Have you heard of that one? Greater Sapien?
I've heard, but I've never read.
I'll have to look into it, Kuyasa, and appreciate the super tap, buddy. The Evil Scotsman says for £1 and 99p. How about Warhammer teaming up with Marvel? I guess
That would be
that's-
cool.
How'd that work?
I don't see that.
He said, "How would that work?" Oh, all right.
Stabby, stabby. No, that's I've actually been starting to live stream Red Dead Redemption 2, and last night I got pissed off with a couple NPCs, so I just took out my knife, just kept stabbing them over and over again.
So,
So
Ozzy-
stabby's a thing now.
It's cathartic.
Listen here,
cathartic.
though, guys. Aussie Globehead just posted in the chat, and we all know that Aussie is a machine, and machines do not lie. Ever.
Okay.
Okay? Team Skeptic, Off the Hook's friend, has a photo of the Taco Bell meat tube. Would a photo suffice as evidence, Sean?
See,
Photoshop.
CGI.
Photoshop.
You sound like fucking flat earthers. I swear to God. Todd Peachley
I'm starting a
for
new channel. Fight the meat tube.
Todd Peachy for $1. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. There's no message with that, but if you want to leave a message, just tag me and I'll try to see it. And Ozzy, if you can get your hands on that meat tube, no pun intended, but if you can get your hands on the picture of that meat tube, send it to me on Discord, and I'll share it for sure.
Great.
Let's
So
see.
now Skeptic's going to get flooded with dick pics.
Look at this.
Exactly.
Justin Neal in the chat. So he's not a made-up person. It's not one of my sock accounts. You see my hands here, guys. I got your back, bro. I have actually seen the meat tube. Yeah, well, me too, Justin. Apparently, we're a dying breed here. And then
Both been Mandela.
Kuyasa for 2,000 W dollars. Kuyasa bucks. Fight the meat tube. Yes, love that. I love that name for a channel. Well, Greater Sapien, we had a few other things planned, but we are out of time with you tonight.
Yeah, I actually have work to do.
Well, we
Sadly.
I'm sure people in the chat would love to see you come back. They
Oh,
all
yeah, I'd love to
messaged
come
me
back.
as soon as they heard that
Welcome
it was you coming
anytime.
on. They definitely wanted to have you back. You know, you're always welcome on the show. Even if I have another guest, you can be like, "Hey, let me in," and you gotta pass. But we have a voice off that will happen between you
Oh, for fuck's
and
sake.
Sean Hufford. Okay. Who is
I've
the
said this
greatest
a million
voice
times before.
on-
I've said this a million times before, and I will stand behind it 100%. I lose. Greater Sapien
No,
wins.
no.
He's got the better voice.
I'm more fun. Well, we don't like our own voices. No one likes their own voice. So I prefer yours to mine.
I love my shit.
That's why you never shut up.
Fuck off, Sean. And next week you will be seeing just me and Fight the Flat Earth on the show. Sean has lost his membership
Yeah,
in Science
we'll
Or
see.
Satire.
Left the building.
But Greater Sapien, I will let you plug anything you want to plug right now.
Okay,
You had a new video? Go ahead and plug. I'll put you on full screen, and
Well, first thing-
we'll let you get
first
out.
thing I
Yeah.
wanna First thing I want to do is I noticed that there are 366 people watching this right now, but only 60 upvotes. So you guys who are watching
what's
this,
that all about?
like, put some upvotes on this
Oh, it
thing.
says
I know you guys.
on mine.
Oh, I'm only seeing. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Yeah, still, that's not enough. Come on, let's get some more in there. Keep it going. Let's make sure people are getting appreciated here.
I agree with
let's see.
Greater Sapien on that. I agree with you.
Don't have much to push. I do have a new video out that just came out yesterday, a new series called Comment Thread Science. If you notice that the same type of argument is coming up more and more, and you think it's something that you'd like to see addressed, please take a screenshot of it so it's not a straw man. I don't want to be accused of pointing up, like straw man arguments. Take a screenshot of someone, kind of repetitive, poor scientific claims. Put it in a chat, send me an email, and so I'll add it to my mix, and maybe I'll make a video on it. Be a good resource. Please continue to keep following these gentlemen here who are putting out a great amount of content. I am actually going to be starting another channel probably in the next week or so that is going to be more unscripted stuff and just me. It probably will be some lives once I get to the point where I can get live. That will be just more off the cuff things and less produced so that I can put things out on a more regular basis. It'll be more of a kind of a daily, not more of a blog type of situation where whatever catches my eye that day, I'll make something up. So look for that, and I'll be asking for some subs on there so I can get that thing growing. And honestly, I'm not looking for doing anything that's really kind of producing me any kind of money on this. I'm just looking for a forum just to talk to people. I don't know about how things are going for the rest of you producers out there, but flat Earth as a topic is kind of drying up for me. It's my old videos that would kind of sustain with 1,000 or so views every other day or so, are just kind of dying off because people just don't care about those guys anymore. And so it's not a monetary venue for me. It's just a forum for me to express my views. So look for another channel. It'll probably be called Greater Sapien Unscripted. That's what I'm thinking right now. And that'll be coming out soon. And I'll keep entertaining you guys.
That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, loved having you on. Let me make sure we have a few more super chats come in, so let me go ahead and read those before you get out, because one of them directly has something to do with what we were talking about. Chris Kelling for $2 says, machines do lie. Take HAL 9000, for example. I'll have to look into HAL 9000. I can't do that, Dave. NANA, $6.66. Hell Sagan, again, my Dark Orb Lord.
Hell Sagan, I may Newton be with you.
I've used the caulking gun-like device at Taco Bell for sour cream and guacamole, but never for beef. Well, I'm sorry, NANA, you must be like 25 years old. This is only for the grown-ups, sir. When you get a little bit older and you can look back on the times before the internet, then you can come talk to me.
Hey, real quick, I just noticed. I think it was Flat Earth Aussie Jesus here said something about Greater Ape here thinks that the moon landing
still believes
happened.
the moon landings. Yeah.
I don't know if this person thinks that's an insult, but my original username was Greater Ape on YouTube. I'm very proudly a part of the Greater Ape spectrum of our evolutionary history. That was literally my first username. I still have that channel for personal use, and I decided I wanted to use that for personal use, and I want Greater Sapien. Calling me Greater Ape 1 is not the slightest, and it is not an insult. To be where we are right now, due to the struggles and survival of evolution, is something we should be proud of. So to call me a Greater Ape is not insulting in the slightest. You should strive.
Jerry, I'm going to demand at this point, because you are of the proper age to remember the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, Grape Ape. So please, in your best impression, I want you to say Great Ape.
Well, you want me to do the whole Grape Ape dance? Remember?
No,
when
you don't need to do that.
Yes. No.
Yeah,
Yes. Do that.
I'm wondering what this is all about now. So.
Oh no, I remember Grape Ape. He actually hurt. It was one of these Hanna-Barbera really bad. He hurt his leg at one point, and he was jumping around, going ooh ah, Grape Ape, because that's kind of what he said all the time. And it became the dance craze of the show when everyone was doing the Grape Ape dance. It's scarred into my brain. But literally, that is one of the reasons why I stopped using Greater Ape as a moniker. Also, the fact is, when you see it spelled out, oftentimes it looks like Great Rape. So I didn't want to have that as an easy in on people, so I changed it to Greater Sapien.
Well, I want to ask you a question, okay? Because we have people timing out good old Flat Earth Aussie Jesus out there. And Flat Earth Aussie Jesus in his thing has said that, yes, he called you an ape, but he says ape is a word for sapien or similar or derivative from sapien. He was like, there was no no insult intended there. Nothing racist
no
intended.
racial content. I didn't think it was. I thought he was
Okay,
trying to
so,
be he was
guys,
trying to
if
be
y'all
clever
could,
on the whole Greater Sapien thing, and I didn't take it that way. And one reason I didn't is because I do have a history with the name Greater Ape personally, and it's one of the things that the way it came up with it. It's just a casual story. Is me and a friend of mine were driving along, and I had to do this really complex thing while driving. I was turning, I was the engine, I was messing with the valves and getting something done, and I noticed how many things I had done at once. I was like working with the radio, and I said, you know what? It's really awesome to be a greater ape. And he was like, yeah, it kind of is. And I said, and it just stuck in my brain. And so then when the internet came along, I was like, you know what? That was going to be username. But then there was too many racial connotations that came along with it.
Yeah.
So then I dropped it. I still have like the ownership of it, but I did drop it for that reason because I didn't want to give people that in on it.
Well, I
But,
like how you handle people. I like how you handle people calling you Homo sapien, and you're like, oh yeah, you're right, actually,
That's,
Yeah, I guess I am.
yeah, you should strive to be.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right. Oh, and then we had, let's see, we had, just to get us out of here, Galby 3000, €2 or £2. Team Skeptic needs cream for Sean's bun. The Evil
Burn.
Scotsman, burn.
Burn.
Oh,
Burn. Oh, that's a
Burn.
jeez.
yeah.
That was when I told
Whatever.
you that you never shut up.
Okay. Yeah, burn. Bum. Bun, whatever. The Evil Scotsman, $1 or €1.99. Sorry, but Warhammer and Marvel Comics have teamed up. So, ooh, they might
Really?
look into that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
All right. So,
Real
yes,
quick,
sir.
anybody who's thinking about doing a super chat, this is about to end on my end, so get it in now. Come on. What are you waiting for? Just put that super chat in there. Put a little something
Yeah.
in my man's pocket. Let's do
If
this.
you guys have any questions, you can donate them through the donation link in the description, or you can send them through Super Chat. But we can ask a few more questions if any of them come in before he has to leave. Greater Sapien, I want to tell you, man, it was great having you on, man.
Amazing.
Like I said, there's a lot of people that I respect in this game. A lot of people that are out there that do have material that they're right, but it's, whether it's they're just not entertaining, they're not engaging, they're only half right. There's things that just push me away from channels, and something I've never had a problem watching your channel. I've never had a problem being engaged in your channel, and I sure hope that whatever ventures you take moving forward, that you always keep us peons entertained with stupidity, because that's what we want to see. We want to see you demolish more Morgiles. We want to see you crush more of the moon deniers and the anti-evolutionists. We want to see that, even if it's not a flat Earth thing. And then we have FTFE.
I do have my next video is actually a moon video.
Oh, nice.
It's
nice.
cool.
It's reproducing the Jack Schmidt moon shot. The shot of the Earth and how they say that the Earth is too small.
Yeah.
I reproduced that with my son, who happens to be the exact same size as Jack.
Oh, we have a moon claim. What's the moon claim about the Harvest Moon fight the flat Earth? Or is that Sean?
So
I'm
that
sorry,
Sleeping
Sean.
Warrior says that. Yep.
That the harvest moon for the first hour after moonrise is 8 to 10 times larger than any other time.
8 to 10
I've actually done a series
Because reasons.
times, not percent, times.
Right.
percent.
Yeah, I've
All
actually
right.
addressed this across a series of 4 videos, but Anthony is still making the claim after
Okay,
3
so
years.
Why do you make claims that are so? I mean, it's easily provable and disprovable. Just go out there and show it. Just go out there and show that it's true, if it's true.
Yeah.
Just
Me and some other guy named Yarhoon, we've actually gone out and filmed on the harvest moon to show that he's not right, and he's still going on forward with this claim. And he's seen both of our videos, but he just doesn't care. He still makes the claim.
of course.
Doesn't try to come up with reasons. He just keeps making the videos. But while I've got the mic here from the Team Skeptic, love to get you back here because we didn't touch on a lot of things that you do with your life. You know, like I want to actually go in depth on your martial arts stuff next time we have you on.
Sure.
Because you do you go cross country, and whenever you're in a strange city, you upload videos of you doing your forms in the mornings. And
Yes,
I actually
I do.
watch through those because it's really cool. But yeah, next time you're on, I'd love to dig into your martial arts background.
Hey,
Yeah,
and another thing, another thing we didn't get to that I did have actually intend on getting to was watching some fake martial artists with you and getting your reaction. So what we'll do, we'll save that for the next video. We will make sure that we have everything set up for that next video. We'll have a little bit more time to plan it out. I know I hit you up earlier this week. I appreciate you coming on last minute. But let me go through the super chat since we have two euros from Fight the Flat Earth because Greater Sapien told me to. Oh my God, £2. Wow. My eyesight must be going bad because I couldn't have possibly made that mistake. God's Auditor for $2. I got $2 more to spare. Thank you very much, God's Auditor. I do appreciate it. Gerard for €5 got that one right. Confirmation bias. People not open anymore to info, evidence, science that contradicts their beliefs. Social media filters bubbles plays a large role. Or filter bubbles plays a large role. Yes, I agree with you on that. And that's in the video that I'm working on right now. They talk about that, how the internet is really the revival of voluntary stupidity. And the thing is it's such a contradiction to what it could be for everybody else. Like, it could be something so beautiful. It could be a wealth of knowledge, and instead it becomes a depth of despair for some people. Jackalope Herdmaster for $2. Definitely bring Greater Sapien back on again. Well, if he'll have us, because Jesus, man, we're a bunch of rude asses, and one of the super chats called him a smart ass.
Nowhere near as much class.
We have people out there calling him a Homo sapien, which is true, I guess. I hope.
It's factually correct.
It's factually correct. And then we have UTB Doug for £5 as well. That single star on the Texas flag, is that the average TripAdvisor review score? I'm not sure if he's talking about you there, or do you have a flag back there? He might have been talking about my old flag that I had up, my Dallas Cowboys
I think he's
flag.
just talking about the Texas flag in general.
Yeah, UTB Doug, we're gonna be. I ever find you, we're boxing. And then, guys, before we leave, let's see if Greater Sapien learned anything while he was here. We have a new member, Greater Sapien. So now I'm going to lead it off, and then you're going to instruct them in what order they need to spew their emojis out at the new member to welcome him. We first start with a.
We start with a dinger.
Dinger! See, look at that. He's better than Sean already. Let's see. We go with Dinger first, and then we say what comes after that. It's either the meat tube or the mankini.
You go to meat tube.
Yes.
Oh, troll fail.
Yes. You had your opportunity to troll me, but you decided not to. You're a good man, Greater Sapien.
And then you go with mankini.
And then we show off the mankini, and look at that. A super chat just came in. Why do you have to be super chatting me, Greater Sapien? Why do you have to be doing that to me, buddy? You're supposed to be the honored guest here, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me read that out for you. He says to say this: I will keep fighting the fight. Thanks for coming, Greater Sapien. I know you have to go. Take care, my friend.
Take care, everybody.
Awesome to have you on, dude.
Yep. Have a good one, sir.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, that was Greater Sapien, everybody. Great show. I love having these people on. I really do like these shows more than I like hosting the debates. I don't mind doing them on your channel, Fight the Flat Earth, but I think I'm going to restrict the debates from my channel. I think more if there's an open topic to be discussed and somebody has a question or wants to bring something to the table to be analyzed, then yes, I can see that. But I just think the people like this, man. I think they really enjoy this. They love the dumpster fires. Don't get me wrong. I see them coming to the channel, and you know that anytime anybody asks me, if I do enjoy doing this more than the debates, I always tell them, I answer honestly. I say, yeah, actually I do. But I also support Fight the Flat Earth and his decision to continue to do the debates, because people want to see that. People want to see the dumpster fire, but they also want to know the background and get a little history about people. So having Greater Sapien on was a great feeling for me. I love it. It's a moment I'll remember forever. And me and him have hung out for a couple of times, but just getting a chance to really pick his mind about stuff and learn about who he is and what he enjoys, that's really where the true benefit comes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
I love being on these shows.
Yeah, our shows are fun, man.
It's a lot of
I don't know
fun.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
watch them after they're done, but I go back and watch them.
I do sometimes. Yeah.
The main reason I go back and watch the shows is because I know I'm missing a lot of the live chat, and I know people are messaging me.
Yeah.
It's hard to like right now I'm looking at the camera. There's no way I can look over there and see and be reading this. I mean, look, I can go like this and read the live chat and talk to you guys if that's what y'all want me to do. We'll never ever
It's not as entertaining.
ever look. Yeah, it's not as entertaining, guys. But it does mean that sometimes I'll miss the chat. But I did just see something that said get Wolfie on, and I 100% agree with you guys. Wolfie should be one of the upcoming people. Fight the Flat Earth.
I'll email him.
Do you have if you don't mind, go ahead. I have his email too,
Yeah.
so if he has decided that he doesn't talk to people with penises on their head, just let me know, because I don't have a penis on my head, and I will I'll email him. He'll talk to me for sure. Or Sean.
That's okay. I got his email too.
Yeah, neither me or Sean have penises on our head. We're okay with that one. Okay, but what's going on tomorrow night? Do we have any shows tomorrow night on your channel?
I do have someone, a flat earther, who has a whole bunch of claims that I'm going to try and get him to back up. I've already spoken to him, and he seems like a decent person that's not going to screw around. So yeah, tomorrow night we should have a debate, but in about 10 minutes I will be premiering my new video.
Oh, nice. So we're gonna leave here and go to your new video. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would like that to happen. Yes.
Well, then what we're going to do is we're going to end this off, guys, because we need to get over there and support Fight the Flat Earth and the battle that he does along with all of us. Who is your video? Oh, never mind. I know who your video's on tonight. Why don't you give the people a sneak peek of the thumbnail? Or yeah, there it is, right there. The stupidest flat earther on the globe. Wait, on the globe? That's an oxymoron. It's flat. How can he be a flat earther? How can he be a flat earther and on the globe? He's a globe earther,
because he's
guys.
that stupid.
So he's either a globe earther or the Earth's flat. But yeah, he's a globe earther. He just thinks the Earth's flat. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's where we're going to end it tonight. Sean Hufford, do you have anything? Oh, why don't you talk about some of the videos and some of the videos you put out and some of the videos that are coming up from your channel?
Oh, well, since I've gotten a hold of that thermal camera, I've been dealing with a lot of Anthony's BS, dealing with the revival of cold moonlight. Weather's taken a turn for the worse, so I'm not able to finalize all that with the moon being up, but I pretty well demonstrated the moon's not important to radiative cooling.
Right. I like that video, actually. The one where you showed the shadows under the table. Were actually
the tables, the tire swing,
everything. Yeah, everything. The tire swing, a fucking tire swing had warmer ground underneath it.
Well, here's the cool thing about the tire swing: the top of it was, minimum temperature. The sides were warm, all the way around because they're not open. They're not releasing the heat straight up. They're actually heating up from the bottom up. Mm-hmm. And the ground underneath the tire swing was also warm, so heating up the bottom, so where it would heat up the sides, and then it would release all the heat at the top, so the top was. So yeah, but again, moon not involved. It wasn't actually with a direct line of sight because there was a building in the way. So yeah.
Well, okay, so definitely be on the lookout for that, guys. Let me double check to make sure that we didn't have anything come in through the tunnel. Okay, good deal. We're good to go. You know what time it is, guys. I need support, okay? I obviously
You gonna get it right?
need support, guys. I
Here
can't
we
get this
go.
part right. I try. I try for you
That's why
guys.
people watch. That's the whole. That's the whole point. People watch, man.
I'm
Because you can't get it right.
100% sure that these guys have not stuck around all the way to listen to Greater Sapien. They stuck around to see whether or not Team Skeptic will fail well once again. Chrismer, I know you're out there, buddy. Don't you dare fail well me, all right? I know you have it on. I know you're just waiting to fail well me in the chat. And if you do, you know I'll still love you and everything. But don't fail well me because I try hard. I take this shit personal. I'm Father Skeptic. And I'm out. Where's the... Oh, no, I covered that stop button.
You failed. See, you failed.
That's it.